Hey guys, and welcome to the very first podcast of the Corner Table. My name is Rye, also known as Diego from Start Again, the campaign that we are a part of. And it is a great day currently, the 27th of May. It is super hot outside. I have all of my AC on because I'm currently dying in my room. But that is besides the point. My co-host here, if he would introduce himself.
Hello everyone, my name is Jake and I am playing Xandan in the Start Again campaign along with Diego. I am one of the party members along with Diego, and I will be co-hosting.
Yes, so Jake out here is going to be our color commentator, so to say. From here on out, we are going to be interviewing each of the party members through the next couple of weeks and asking them some questions to, spark any interesting thoughts that some party members or some crowd members have had that would like answers from some of these party members. Without further ado, we have one party member which has brought quite a lot of interesting controversy to the table as of late.
Recently, yes.
But also a lot of mystery behind them as well. If she would please introduce herself.
Hi, my name is Gigi, and I play Lars in the current campaign.
Yes, and what is Lars?
Lars is a 7-foot-tall Warforged robot with a top hat.
Yes,
With top hat.
Lars is quite the flamboyant character, as we've seen so far. But like we said, a lot of mystery surrounding them, where we don't know too much as they're one of the newest additions to the party. But like we've stated, a lot has happened, and that does leave us with a lot of questions that have yet to be answered, but maybe they'll be answered today. So,
just for clarification, Gigi, it has been 2 sessions or 3 sessions? I believe it was 2.
I believe it was 2. Yes.
2 sessions, yeah.
So
very new to the Start Again campaign.
Yes.
Most recent party member as of late. But definitely does not mean that what they have brought to the table has been any less unique than any of the others. So with that, Gigi, are you ready to answer some questions from
I am ready.
Anonymous people that you do not know? However, they provided us with great questions that I hope you'll be willing to answer today.
I look forward to it.
All right. Without further ado, the first question I have for you is, what organic creature would you be if you could be, and why?
This is a question for Lars.
Okay, let me think. Lars is very intrigued by the woodland creatures that he observed while he was tracking you guys in the woods. And before that, when he wasn't tracking you guys. So I think I'd have to go with a squirrel.
Squirrel.
Okay.
I love that.
Interesting.
A squirrel
answer.
with a top hat, specifically.
Yeah.
Squirrel with a top hat. Yeah.
Why a squirrel?
He likes their tails, and he likes the way that they glide down using some complex aerodynamic formula that he has yet to figure out completely.
Interesting. Okay.
There's a lot to explore with the squirrels, you see.
Well,
He's very new to the world, from what we know.
Yeah, he's the youngest party member, technically speaking.
Supposedly. There are some characters in this campaign that I guess we don't really know the age of, I think.
Oh, that's true.
We don't know... Yeah, we know some other characters, but... Anyway, interesting answer. I like that. It's honestly... Was not expecting a squirrel, but... Jake, if you would ask for the second.
For our second question, also anonymous, this is a little bit more of a heart-wrencher, no pun intended, but do you have a soul, Lars?
Do any of us have a soul, really? Lars...
Good question.
Lars is very philosophical.
Mm-hmm.
I think at this point, Lars would... This is a good question, because I built the character around, like, those sort of satirical philosophical questions, like, what is life? Who are we? So, that question is kind of like central. Contemplating that is like central to his character.
Okay. If it's too much, we can
I
refrain.
think he goes back and forth. I think some days he's like, yeah, I totally have a soul. Some days he's like, no, I don't understand all of this organic
Right.
nonsense.
So just off the cuff of that, if let's say he did have a soul, would you flavor it as some sort of component or a permanently attached piece to Lars that could possibly be removed?
No, I think it would be an inherent part of his being.
Good answer. Like that answer. Following that with not Diego, but Rise, third question.
I'll take either way. This one is quite a long question, but I hope you will be willing to answer it. Question is, how does it feel to have made enemies in the party almost day one? It seems the actions that were made were out of your control, but due to those actions, they've caused some mistrust to a few of the party members. How does it feel to be on good terms with a select few rather than the entire party?
Well, to be quite honest, Lars is, from his point of view, he's on good terms with everybody. I think if he were told in character that he made enemies, he would be genuinely confused and likely go around asking each individual party member if they consider him an enemy, and if so, why.
Okay. I see a man. That honestly, I really like that answer because there are a lot of things that can build up from that. Considering that night that everything transpired, that was quite a memorable night for quite a lot of people.
Yep.
Too bad the audience doesn't, not everyone knows exactly what we're talking about, but maybe we will touch on that at another time. Jake, if you would ask her the fourth question.
Of course. So this is a question for you, Gigi, specifically, but you may or may not have answered it with the likeness of Lars. Before we ask this question, Lars, why the name Lars, and what made you want to go Warforge?
So the name is actually, so it's an acronym, but it's also a reference to one of my favorite video games, Ni no Kuni. In the game, there is a region where everything is mechanical and very like steampunk, and the prince of that region is named Lars. So I was looking for names that I could use as an acronym because I like the idea of a robot with like an acronym name. And Lars seemed perfect, so logically automated rampage system was born.
There you go.
And I'm sorry, what was the second part of the question?
The first part of that question was so specifically in the D&D technical side, what was the inspiration to go Warforged as your D&D selected race?
Okay. I'm a relatively new player to D&D, and I really want to try out every angle as a player character. And I've only played casters up until this point, and another part of my like quote unquote strategy is to play characters that are as different from me as possible. So let's make the biggest, let's make the biggest, because I'm pretty small in real life. Let's make the biggest, beefiest character that I can conceive. And Lily, another character in the party, mentioned Warforged, and I was like, yes, let's be a robot.
Robot people. So cool.
Yeah. And I really like the idea of taking a race and creating a character who doesn't fit any of the stereotypes of that race. So it's like, let's do a robot, but let's make him a philosopher instead of like a cold-hearted, typical robot. Let's make him like a philosopher contemplating the meaning of life. So I just thought that there were a lot of cool things that were forged that I could explore with that. So that was the reasoning behind that part.
Oh, and just for the audience's clarification, Lars is our wild magic barbarian in the party.
This is actually a first for me. I did not know you were wild magic.
Oh, well, I guess it wasn't a secret since I've been rolling on the wild magic table the whole time.
Wow, I actually had no idea. That is a surprise for me.
Oh, surprise.
Surprise, surprise. I actually like that a lot.
All right. Following with the excellent answers with that, Rye.
Yes, so last two questions that we have for you today are not anonymous. This first one is coming from me. So, Gigi / Lars, this question is for you from me.
All right.
What were you thinking when Diego got outraged and punched you? Were you upset, confused, or anything else?
Well, in character, I did not quite understand the notion. It felt like an odd tap sensation. Out of character, I really admired you from the roleplay standpoint because I know like some of the dynamic that was going on there that motivated Diego to do that, and I thought it was like a very, human and like believable, consistent with your character move to make, and it was cool. Props for that.
Well, I appreciate that.
It was fun to roleplay as well. When you didn't roll to punch.
No, I honestly felt like I probably could have gotten damage to myself because like I'm literally punching a metal face.
Yeah.
Takes 1 point of damage upon attacking.
It's like, oh, my fingers are broken. Ah! But honestly, thank you. I appreciate that. It's great that we have a great group of great role players, and I think that was a great answer.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Jake, would you like to ask her your last question?
All right, this last question is from myself, and mainly just a fun question. What is Lars's favorite weapon of choice currently?
Ooh, okay. That's hard. Can I answer out of character first?
You can, of course.
Out of character, it's the boomerang.
Obviously the boomerang.
For sure.
Of course.
Just because of the comedic appeal. I mean, it's a boomerang. What's not to like?
Exactly.
But in character, it's got to be the greatsword, because that does the most damage. It's the most efficient weapon to get the job done if the job is smash thing big. And Lars is all about efficiency. But I also like the greatsword out of character. What's not to like about clunky Final Fantasy style weapons?
Right.
Yeah.
So would you say that this is very much a Final Fantasy weapon that you're utilizing, this greatsword?
Oh, yeah. when the DM
just
was
oversized anime.
Yes, like that's the exact aesthetic that I imagined for
With
Lars.
With that answer, is the next part of this question is this a weapon that Lars would be okay with replacing if a better one were available?
Yeah, Lars would definitely be able to, if it were an objectively better weapon, Lars would do it in a snap.
Got you. All right.
It's all about optimization.
Optimization of Warforged. Yes.
Yep.
Even with the emotional attachment to, say, a boomerang?
The emotional attachment is out of character.
Right.
I don't think Lars has emotional attachment to either of his weapons.
I mean, they are a robot, so I guess that kind of makes sense in a way.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
At the same time, though, like, when I first saw that you had a boomerang, I was a little shocked, because I didn't, that's kind of the last weapon I'd expect on a killer robot is a boomerang. Especially with a top hat. I mean, what a flamboyant character to have such a janky weapon.
It's a lot harder to hit things in the air when you're a barbarian.
Yeah.
I mean, overall, like, I think Rye thinks that Lars is honestly a pretty well thought character.
Oh, thank you.
As of so far, I think, I don't even know if that's English, but so far, I think that from what we've seen of Lars, I think the character is played very well, considering they are a robot. We don't know too much about them yet, but the style, I guess, I don't know if I can call it charisma, but just the attitude of this character kind of fits what you were going for, I think. And so far, I think it's a great addition to the party.
Oh, thank you. I really appreciate that.
Not a problem. Jake, anything you'd like to say?
That's all I have.
All right.
Yeah.
Great. Well, Gigi, I sincerely thank you for joining us on our first episode of the Corner Table. Lars is an awesome character that I honestly can't wait to see more of. And your presence today was just honestly great, and I appreciate you being willing to cooperate and answer some of these questions.
Yeah, thanks for having me. This is fun, and I really enjoy playing with the party.
Yeah, it's no problem. Well,
It's a really fun group.
yeah, I honestly can't wait to get back to this more in the summer. I think it's going to be just an absolute blast to see what goes on more with the story and everything.
Yep.
But thank you for listening on to this first episode of the Corner Table. Once again, my name is Rai. This is Jake, my color commentator, and thank you, Gigi, once again for joining us. But I guess I will see you all in the next episode of the Corner Table.